Hello, my name is Keira, and I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite books. That book would be Stormbreaker by Anthony Horowitz. It is the first in the Alex Rider series. There are lots of books in the series, and I will say a little bit about that at the end. So, in the book, we get to meet Alex Rider, our main character. He is 14 years old. He lives in London, and it starts with him finding out that his uncle Ian Rider has died. He then finds out that his uncle was a spy for MI6, and MI6 recruits Alex and sends him to finish his uncle's mission. This mission is to figure out what Herod Sale, who is like a computer person, is up to. Herod Sale has decided to give a whole bunch of computers to a whole bunch of schools in England, and Alex's job is to figure out what exactly the computers are for and why he's doing this. So we get to meet Alex, and we get to find out what he thinks about being a spy. He doesn't actually want to be a spy, and he gets to go undercover. And he gets to go on some pretty cool adventures and do some spy stuff, which is really interesting. So I will read you a little passage from this book. This is from chapter 3. Alex went back into Crawley's office. He would have given anything to spend a few minutes alone in Ian Rider's office. Somebody thought the dead man's work was important enough to keep hidden from him. They had broken into his house and cleaned out everything they'd found in the office there. Perhaps the office next door might tell him why. What exactly was Ian Rider involved in, and was it the reason why he had been killed? The flag fluttered again, and seeing it, Alex went over to the window. The pool jutted out of the building exactly halfway between rooms 1504 and 1505. If he could somehow reach it, he should be able to jump onto the ledge that ran along the side of the building outside room 1504. Of course, he was 15 floors up. If he jumped and missed, there would be a couple of 100 feet to fall. It was a stupid idea. It wasn't even worth thinking about. Alex opened the window and climbed out. It was better not to think about it at all. He would just do it. After all, this was the ground floor or a jungle gym in the schoolyard. It would be child's play. It was only the sheer brick walls stretching down to the pavement, the cars and buses moving like toys so far below, and the blast of the wind against his face that made it terrifying. Don't think about it, do it. Alex lowered himself onto the ledge outside Crawley's office. His hands were behind him, clutching onto the windowsill. He took a deep breath and jumped. A camera in the office across the road caught Alex as he launched himself into space. 2 floors above, Alan Blunt was still sitting in front of the screen. He chuckled. It was a humorless sound. "I told you," he said. "The boy's extraordinary." "The boy's quite mad," the woman retorted. "Well, maybe that's what we need. You're just going to sit here and watch him kill himself. I'm going to sit here and hope that he survives." So, I hope you want to figure out what happens next. Luckily, I know what happens, but no spoilers, so I can't tell you. But I hope you want to figure it out, and so I hope that you'll check out these books. They are really good for numerous reasons. The first reason is that they are very easy to understand and follow, so they are good for any level of reader. They don't have too many big words in them, which is really good, and they don't have, as far as I remember, they don't have any bad words in them. So honestly, younger kids could read them too, even though they're meant for young adults. My 11-year-old brother likes them too, and I read them to him sometimes. He reads them too, but, and so the second reason is that it is very eventful. There's lots of action and adventure to keep you entertained. So it's really good for people who need fast-paced books and who like lots of action. And there is lots of action, and there are lots of cool spy things in it. In Stormbreaker, he goes and he has 2 weeks of SAS training. So that's interesting to watch him get to train with professionals. Well, I'll get to read about him training with professionals. But yeah, those are 2 reasons why this is a really good series. The third reason I'm going to give, there are lots of reasons, but the third reason is that, okay, well, I'm going to give 2 more reasons. Well, the third reason is that the stories are all like really original. In each one, they sort of have like a formula. The first 5 books sort of follow a specific formula of what happens in what sections of the book, but you also can never actually tell, because every time it's slightly different because the villains are different and the plots are different and what the villains are trying to accomplish is different and where they're trying to accomplish it at and how they're going about it is different. So some villains seem worse than others, and it's really good. I don't want to spoil it, but it's really, really good, and I hope that you'll read it to find out about all of these amazing villains, and to find out more about Alex and to find out what happens. The fourth reason is that it's really cool because we get to see Alex grow throughout the series. You get to watch as he becomes a spy, and as he grows from those missions that he goes on, and how they affect him and how they affect his friends, because he can't tell them that he's a spy. Although he does tell his best friend Tom Harris. And it's just really interesting to watch that. So, like I said, Alex is 14 in this book, but throughout the series he does manage to age a little bit. I think there's a few months difference between them. In Scorpio Rising, he just turned 15. I think he turns 15 actually at the very end of Crocodile Tears. So Scorpio Rising came out in 2011 and was sort of the end of this overall plot line. Like, each book had its individual plot, but there was also an overall sort of plot line that you'll have to read to find out about. And then he picked up the story the author Anthony Horowitz did. Nightshade came out this year, and this is a collection of short stories which are really interesting. One of them is about Tom Harris, Alex Rider's best friend, so it was nice to see that. Another cool thing is that there is a TV show coming out on IMDb TV on November 13th. It came out in England on June 4th, but we don't live there, so. It's about the events in Point Blank. And so my time's up, so I gotta go. But I hope you do decide to read this book because it's an amazing series and they're really, really good. So, thank you.